Hey Julie, oh hey Julie, hey Julie, oh
hey Julie. Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Hashtag podcast. Najua to miss. Nimekuwa inconsistent as fuck, but itabidi umenipea break. Life has been lifing, and today I have to do drum rolls, bombshells, gunshots. I have a very special guest. And since I saw him ever on my For You page, I'm like, I want you. Ushaitakuwa venye nimekutaka, walai, sema kweli.
Sijawaitakuwa hivyo.
None other than Ruele. Is that how you say your name?
Yes, Ruele.
First begin there, because the first time I was like,
ni Ruele.
I'm like,
Ruele ndio watu hupenda sana, but it's Ruele.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Ruele. Karibu sana, thank you for gracing me.
Thank you. Thank you. Mimi ndio ninashukuru sana. You don't get such invites every other day. Yes, kwa hivyo ni mimi ninashukuru.
Thank you. Welcome to the podcast. I am super excited to get into what you're gonna get into today.
Na sijui hata tunaongelelea nini.
Which is great.
It's blind conversations.
Yeah. So acha tuongelee backstory of how I got to meet you.
Sure.
Nilikuwa in a dating app for podcasts.
Dating app for podcasters.
Yeah.
Hiyo ni gani? Mimi hata sijui hiyo ni gani.
Podcast inaitwa Matchmaker, but it's for podcasts, like podcasts to meet us.
So, okay, yeah, now that makes sense. What is this? But okay, yeah.
But then, I was there, and then I saw sex education very well, and I'm like, it has sex. I want to know.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
And then you're in Kenya. I binge watched your episodes, like I listened to like 8 of them the same day. I was like, oh my god, no, I want to know how he looks like, and to his Instagram, and to his TikTok.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know you never knew that.
Yeah.
Back in the day, when did you have Ruele sex education bureau? Because I know
it's been a year, I think
21?
Yeah. 22? Let's say 21. Let's say 21 is when I started, 22. And then I didn't remove an episode in 23 and 24. I haven't removed another episode.
So you stopped in 22?
Yes. 22 December. Yeah.
So I've been chasing him for 2 years. I'm like, I'm dying.
In all defense, scheduling conflicts.
Because we're talking to business people. Maybe you can tell the people who you are.
Hi everyone. My name is, this is my camera, right? My name is Ruele Okeyo. I am a director at Kenneth and Jacob's House, which is a shelter for homeless and runaway queer youth. I also work with Y Plus Kenya, which is a network of young people living with HIV, and Love Matters Kenya as well.
Yes, run down the whole CV.
I also work with Love Matters Kenya, which we aim at advancing sexual reproductive health rights for all young people as an advocate, and instead of a podcaster, like this is a top podcast in like 2 years.
Because there's some very nice episodes.
So I also have like a rundown podcast called Sex Ed by Relations, which talks about matters HIV, matters sexual orientation and gender identity, as well as sexual reproductive health and rights for all young advocates and for all young people in Kenya. So
that's a lot. You do a lot. So schedule is tight.
Schedule was really crazy.
Schedule was crazy. Thank you.
Ninashukuru.
Good. So
yeah.
How you got into it? Okay, let's begin by how sex ed came about. Why did you want to do it?
That came as a joke. I promise you, let me just tell you this, like most of my entire life, like between 20 let's say 2021 to 2024, most of the things that have happened, I never took anything seriously, right? Let's just start there, because when I started sex ed, I think it was a few months after I tested positive for living with HIV. It was just a few months. And then I met my now best friend, Doreen Mora, if you know her.
I don't know her, but,
But
shout out to Doreen.
yeah, but she's a bigger name than I am, so
Okay,
yeah, she's a
okay,
bigger name than I am. So I met her, and then we were having conversations about how can I be able to create change, because that's just all I wanted. Because I think at this point in my life, I realized like my then partner was transmitting HIV knowingly. And
we're really gonna get into that.
Yeah.
Okay,
So my then partner was transmitting HIV knowingly, so I had two options: use all that pain and transmit HIV to other people, or use that pain and create change. Right. So I chose, I can't be able to leave, because if this is the pain I am feeling, I don't want someone else to go through it, so I'm going to create change. And so when I had conversations with Doreen was like, you can try a YouTube channel. I'm like, yeah, I just love being behind the camera.
You do?
Yeah,
I'm nervous. Like, this is new to me. I am like, I'm setting on my series. I'm like, God.
I sometimes try, and I'm like, I'm mostly in front of the cameras because of the work that I do, but I'm like, if I could be behind, trust me, I would be behind the cameras. So YouTube was completely out of topic. TikTok, I hated. I still
was
do.
Just for dances, which I can't do
until nowadays.
Then
nowadays, anyone is just posting anything at this point. So I used to hate TikTok, so I was like, you know what, I'm not doing that. So the only option was either small posts on social media or a podcast. I was like, okay, a podcast sounds well, because first, at the time I was really, really broke. I was so can I use my phone to record a podcast? Yes, I could. So that was the only
10,
option
20, 30.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, you know. So that is how I managed to start up with a phone. That's why, like, the first episodes were really shitty when it came to the audio. Like,
we begin from somewhere,
right?
Trust me.
And that's why I didn't even delete the first episodes, because I'm like, that's how you measure growth. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, the first episodes were so shitty, but I was like, this is something I really want to do. Let me channel all this pain that I'm feeling towards something. And so that's how Sex Ed came up. But I wasn't serious about it. I like put up one episode, like the first episode, and then I decided, kwani ni must. Like, right. I think it went like 2, maybe 3 weeks. I didn't upload another thing. Na uko na lile nilipiga campaign pale nyuma tini na kuja na atisijua new podcast, na nimepiga campaign. I'm sharing it to post it to my friends. I'm posting it on my social media. Alafu nikatoa episode moja, disappearing act. So one time when I was thinking about quitting, I received a text message. No, Twitter inetangwa jini DMs. Yes, Twitter DMs. Inetangwa DMs message.
Okay,
yes, direct messages from Twitter, and someone was like, "Hi, this person's from the Philippines. Like, hi, I just listened to your podcast and I thought I should look for you, and
nice.
I wanted to commit suicide, but after hearing your story, you've given me hope." And all, like, first, I'm not even concerned about the suicide. Like, what do you mean you're from the Philippines? I do not know anyone from the Philippines. So I went back to Doreen, and like, of course we did talk about the suicide thing and all that, but I went back to Doreen and I told Doreen, yo, mtu anaangalianga jizi vitu, like, how do you check your
analytics?
Yeah, analytics, because I was very, very green. I had no idea about anything about content creation. I was like, okay, go do this, this, and this, and this. So I went and checked, and the episode was listened to in over 40 countries, and I had so much, the streaming numbers, I can't remember the numbers visually because it's 4 years down the line. And so I was like, okay, so
it really has an impact.
It has an impact, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I continued to now create more episodes and be consistent with it. And I guess that is how it started putting my name on the map of also the work that I do.
Oh, really? You began this podcast?
Yeah, just a podcast.
Hey,
I began putting my name. Exactly.
Okay.
So that is how majorly how Sex Ed started. But then I stopped in 2023 because again my mental health kicked in, my brother was hospitalized, so I was like, you know what, and then I guess I got into that laziness, so I haven't removed an episode, but now I'm doing it, but through a different company at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Oh my god, I love it, because tuliambiwa like how your name, like when you come into this world,
yeah,
it's not how much money you make. It's not about how much whatever. It's how many lives you've impacted.
The impact, yeah, exactly.
Like you have to. Though me, but just to purpose yangu. Me, I'm still
Inakujaga,
for
imagine.
20 to 24.
Imagine Inakuja. You don't have to. I tell people you don't have to figure it right now, because we live in a society where we always want the next best thing. We always want to become this. We always want to make a name. I don't want to make a name. If anything, why not for my work? I would not want to be known. I want to do things behind the scenes, because at the end of the day, once we all die, you won't remember me for the travels I have or the things I bought but you'll remember me for the lives that I touched. I just want to be remembered as a good person. Right? I want to be remembered as a good person. Majorly, that's just my purpose in this life.
Oh gosh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Because to me, I wouldn't say that's true. We're going to try to nikumbuka see if I'm not really
No, but with this podcast, this is your footprint.
Yeah.
This is your food. Like when you die, your best friend will be listening to this podcast and like this bitch.
I remember that story. I was there.
I was there. Exactly.
Let me tell you.
Exactly. So this is your footprint that you live in. You don't have to have it all figured out at this point. I mean, I myself, I'm still figuring it out. Some mornings you're waking up and you're like, hey, what is my purpose in this life? So there are also mornings.
Yeah, but I can't even, like, I imagine 20 years down the line, I'm listening to when I was 19, how I used to think.
You
and
will.
The stories that
You will, and let me tell you, you'll be like, at this point. Those conversations will come. They will definitely come. Yes. But just be kind to yourself. You're doing so much better than what most people would be doing at this time in their age.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. Even my friend was telling me, I feel like for us at Akama, there's all that, however you're feeling inside. There's always, you're doing the best with what you have.
At that particular time.
At that particular time.
We don't have millions, but we make do with our fulizas,
Yeah. Okay, so, so the podcast came about a few months after being HIV positive, right?
Yeah.
And you've told us that the partner you were with was doing it knowingly.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, because if you don't know what the meaning of stealthing, you've heard of something, yeah?
Stealthing is whereby someone removes a condom during sex.
Okay, yeah. So what you knew what
But actually people don't realize that's a crime.
It is a crime.
It is a crime, and you'll actually get persecuted for it.
I was blown my mind.
Yes.
When I first heard about it, I'm like, oh my god.
It's actually considered rape. Some certain aspect, it's considered as rape. We had consent to have intercourse with a condom, and you remove the condom made during sex. That is considered a form of rape, because I didn't consent to you removing that condom.
Oh my lord! So I wanted to find out specifically here in Kenya. Like, have there been cases about people who've gone to court? And I've seen that there's even someone who is charged with sexual assault. And I'm like, that's interesting. But now I feel like people do it like quite often, unfortunately. Do you remember a while ago, some show called Shikemunto was putting out stories of people, and then there was this whole confession about reaching 50 people, which is...
Well, that is a bit controversial. But to answer your question, the first question is, there are not so many cases that have been reported, because not so many people know that stealthing is a crime.
Okay, right. So what our dream
crime, or like
so is
it was the heat of the moment, right? So they don't think it's a crime. It's really wrong to remove the condom during sex. So not so many cases, right?
Okay.
Is this a shikemunto? Well, it's a gray area.
It's a gray area?
Yes, because if I have sex with you, I'm HIV positive, right? And I have sex with you with the notion that I want to transmit HIV to you. How I think is not how you think, right? What if, because we don't know each other, tomorrow morning you go and take PEP? So once you take PEP, you can't be able to get HIV. You see? So when someone says I've slept with 500 people, it's not technically 500, because that's ninatafutaka jina hata na Kiswahili nakata kuja. It's a long shot. It's a long shot, right? Because then again, out of these 500, there are also people who understand about PrEP. There are also people who may be taking PrEP at the same time, right? So PrEP is medication that's taken after exposure of sleeping with someone who you don't know their HIV status. So you take it for 30 days and it prevents you from getting HIV.
Let's get into that first. I have a question.
Yeah.
It escapes my mind. So for PrEP, does someone just continuously does it?
No, PrEP,
when you have unprotected sex.
PrEP is actually, so Leonie Sandy, right? You found someone in the club, maybe you having fun, when the home muka risk. And then in the morning, you're like, let's do I don't know, right? We all have those, right? So you walk into any healthcare facility, mostly government facilities, private, I think, kuna charges, but government, it's all free of charge. You walk into that facility and request for PrEP. Within 72 hours. You have 72 hours after exposure. Exposure is that act where you had sex with someone. Yes. You have 72 hours to go and
I'm confused.
Okay, why are you confused?
Okay, there's a PrEP is the
pre-exposure prophylaxis.
Okay.
PrEP.
So this is the one that
you take before exposure. But this is
so it's like normal.
Pill. Yes.
Okay.
It's a daily pill. Every day you take PrEP. That's before.
Yeah.
PrEP is post-exposure prophylaxis. This is post-after. But this is only taken for 1 month.
Okay.
Yes. But then again, let's not make it a habit because PrEP is 1 month. We like, kuna PrEP. Nah. PrEP and PrEP only prevent against HIV. STIs and pregnancies, you will still get those.
You will still get those.
You know?
That's the invitation for baby shower.
Baby shower, right? So, when we're talking about the stories of Shikemonto, most people, what if they took PrEP and PrEP, but they didn't tell you? In my head, I'm thinking, yes, I have infected this number of people with HIV. But what if they went ahead and took PrEP and PrEP?
But, okay, I feel like not many people know about that. It's just me, it's my circle, because even before the episode, I really wanted to find out, do people know there's something called PrEP and PrEP? Actually, I never knew there was PrEP. I think I knew PrEP.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then my friend is like, what is that? The next one, what is that? I'm like,
I thought we watched the episode of Demoskize
you know? Because I don't feel like a lot of people. So the Shikemonto story was crazy because for me, being ignorant, I don't know that there's some medicine I need to take if I was unsafe. You're just living on a prayer.
Now let me shock you, and this will shock you in a certain way. Not every encounter where you sleep with someone who's HIV positive means you can get HIV.
Wait, without?
Yes.
When you're dormant.
Not even dormant. It's all about science, and not like this is a constant thing. Like, because I'm HIV positive, let's say I'm not even taking my medication. It's not all encounters. Like, there might be like just that one day, God was with them. It's like we're just clear watching. You know, like how we have them when ladies
when we're living on a prayer.
Yeah, right.
After 28th.
Sit down.
Your floor is
Yeah, so not all encounters where you sleep with, people think like when you sleep with HIV positive people, you definitely get HIV. Like sometimes it doesn't happen.
I was told this when there's like like for ladies, if you get hurt inside, that's how you can get it. Is that true?
That's just a misconception. You can't get HIV. Trust me, you will, and you can get HIV. But then again, let's not also bank like every single bloody time it's going to happen. Kuna tusko kuna kwanga na, how do you call it? Misdirection or something. Yes, but you will get HIV if as long as there's body fluids, there's the exchange of body fluids, you can get HIV.
Okay. Okay.
So let's not bank on this. Let's not bank on that. But it's really important for people to use protections. They were talking about condoms. Condoms are a sure bet. Condoms are double prevention. They prevent against STIs, they prevent against pregnancy.
You know, actually there was a study that was being done, I think, like the Ministry of Health or whatever, they were going to Naivasha to give like young people condoms, and then the young people were like, give us pep than condoms.
Exactly. Tunyama konyama.
You wanna meet to meet?
Absolutely, the fact that because maybe say Kujui, I don't know you. I don't know you like that.
Especially it's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
Like if we just met and you wanna
Rojo connect kama hiyo.
There's something.
Jam again.
Secret checking for. You don't know my second name. You're already here.
I don't even know you if the name is given Miss Jill. And then you want us to go wrong. Make it make sense.
Like, I just met you 20 minutes ago at the club. Like,
yeah, but tell that to people, you know, at this point, that's why, you know, scientists are really working towards ensuring there are options for people. But then again, maybe just advocate for condoms. I really do advocate for condoms.
Yeah, me, I don't eat my lollipops without the wrappers.
Exactly, because if you have to look at it, I might be taking PrEP. But that's just HIV. Hii kaswende ingine utapata. Syphilis
utakuwa ukitembea hivi kwa barabara.
So, you know, it doesn't make sense. Like you're taking PrEP, you might still get pregnant, which can lead to an abortion, right? But then I'm like, imagine ukitumia 2 condoms, you see if you're protected from both. If a condom busts,
because maybe most people don't care about STIs, but they're like most STIs are curable. So
not actually all. There's some once they get to your brain like syphilis, you're gone.
For real?
Madhari wameja, it's syphilis.
Cheesy juu ya syphilis. Oh,
exactly.
Wow. I was told even there are others that you can even be infertile. There are others that can make you. Is it herpes or chlamydia? I
think it's herpes. I'm not so sure about the medical aspect of that in an important killing.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't say much on it because I don't have the right information about it at this time. Equal like at this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, Nuja, there was a friend of mine on Snapchat, and she had put a poll about asking the guys, how would you feel if like your shorty or like just a shorty pulled out like a condom from their wallet?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's such a turn off. Like, what don't I remember condoms?
Yeah.
Nico. That is extremely weird to me that you would find it a problem.
But it's okay for you to carry, which you wouldn't even want to use. That lady is protecting herself. She don't want kids. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody has time for that. Fuck them kids. You know what I'm saying? Fuck them kids. Like, bro.
Right. Because I fail to understand why gents have issues when ladies are carrying condoms. I mean,
and the way how they always want to try to act slick at it. If you know we can just...
No, the baby's prepared. The baby's prepared. I really applaud and love babes who carry their own condoms, because this is someone who's putting their health in their own charge. They're dictating like, we're not having sex if we're not having a condom.
And me, I stand on boundaries too, because even a guy, when he's also very whatever, I'm like, I fuck with you because you care for your health.
Yeah, your health.
Because if you're okay and just move like that, just stuck with me. Because
Ni Nairobi.
Kila mtu anakula sinia moja jamani. Damn.
Bibi nilifika kwa I'm like, hey Nairobi hapana. I'll be very afraid. People don't even in a relationship and I got HIV. What about people who are not in relationships, just like smiling out here, you know, fast life. Buko sawa. But anyways.
I also wanted to talk about back to the stealthing part.
Yeah.
You didn't feel as if because you knew that he knew, like you wouldn't say. Did you say anything to him? I mean, you just closed that door and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna move my life forward from here. And you're cut off, fuck off.
I think my situation wasn't through stealthing. We just went at it raw.
Okay.
We just went at it raw. But by the time I came to get the information, I can't get much into the information, but the time I realized he was doing it knowingly, I was in a point where I was in my healing journey.
Okay.
Right? So initially, because once I told him I was HIV positive and he needed to go and get tested, I got ghosted, right? So I was very, very bitter about it because I'm like, I thought we were having something.
Yeah.
So when you go ahead and ghost, you know, I'm allowed to think what I'm allowed to think.
Obviously.
Yeah. So that really did hurt. But then again, I was like, you know what? I have done my part. I have told you to go and get tested. So now it's time for me to work on me. And at that point, I went to all my sexual partners who I had sex with that year. I had sex with like 3 people that year. And I went to all 3 of them and I was like, you folks need to go and get tested. But then again, when I'm looking at the timeline, it was this particular one. Exactly. Because all fingers pointed at him, exactly. But then again, I was like, once I came to realize what happened, I had started my healing journey. So I wouldn't even. Also, at this point, I didn't know that doing it knowingly can get you prison time. Yeah. Because also transmitting HIV knowingly, you can get prison.
So you never knew at the time.
Yes, I didn't know at the time.
Okay.
But right now, I'm like, I wish.
You would?
I would be a rich man right now.
Oh. Yeah, and prevent him from...
Yeah, exactly, from doing it, kabisa. So I didn't majorly know at that time that I could take legal action, but then again, also like in my healing journey. So at this point, I was like working on myself because my 2018 to like 2021 were really my shitty years, because that's when I had just... I got kicked out of home because of my sexuality by my folks. So something like we didn't speak for like 4 years.
Oh yeah, we did have a lengthy talk before the cameras and we got into it.
So I was unemployed, I was homeless, I was without family, without friends and all that. So those were my shitty years. And I think 2021 is when things started to look up and I was like, working towards my healing and getting my finances right and getting what right. So I was working towards that. So when I found out about it, I was like, imagine me, I did my part. Like, I did my part. I told you to go and get tested. I forgave you for everything. If kama ulienda ni sawa, but then nikakuja kurealize kama ulikuwa na ulikuwa unapeana tu hivyo. So like mimi nimekuachia Mungu, imagine. I have no time for arguing. I have no time for fights. I just need to work on me because I've been through it. I have been through it. And at this point, I just want to get through it. So, iyako.
We leave it to God.
We leave it to God. Maybe time. Exactly. But see, it is what it is.
Okay. I was even having a talk with my friend. She was asking me because, I wouldn't, like, under poly, I think I'm poly. But more swinger than fast life. So, hell yes. Yeah, in my wondering out too. So she was asking me. Because she doesn't understand how it works. So I was explaining to her, and then she's like,
how what works stuffing?
No, like poly type of issues.
Okay.
And then she brought up like the health part, and she's like, oh, but you see, there's so many people who are like not okay, so you end up with STIs, a bunch of health issues and stuff. Like, how do you maneuver that when you're having a lot of partners? And like, say, do you know, if according to statistics, that the rates of STIs and even HIV is more in straight couples, cis heterosexual couples, than it is for people who are in the lifestyle and gay relationships. Because I think also in gay relationships, especially gay men, that's a huge conversation, isn't it?
It really is.
Na si uncomfortable because before upate drama fulani yako kama uko sawa mimi niko sawa, you know, because most guys are like that. But
that's how people get HIV in our community. But the love for community, you people think straight people be having it. The gays be having it in a really, really crazy way. I swear it's one huge bedroom. That's why I am not into the gay hookup culture at all. I completely separate myself from the gay hookup culture because it's a painful ordeal, I tell you that. It's weird. When I'm thinking you street people will just be eating each other out. Wait until you come into the gay community and you're like, watch out to the question. We and your partner. So that is why in most queer relationships or gay communities, there's so much cases of HIV.
Wait, you would say it's more?
It's rampant. It is rampant in gay relationships.
Really? I thought because you see, I feel like there's a very huge.
There is a thin line. I would say that. But for gay relationships, this is because of the disparities that the community faces, right? And it's not even about relationships that people have. It's just about the aspect of being marginalized and more. We have no source. Most people who have sources of employment. Housing is a problem, right? So what do? Because you can't get work, you can't get home or housing, you get into sex work. And when you get into sex work, you don't have bargaining power. I can't say I'm going to have sex with you and then I'm going to use a condom and this. It's because now I'm giving you 15, 20,000, 50,000 and I will fuck you there I want to fuck you. So I don't have aspects to go into a condom. Not so many people understand the facilities that are actually catering to the gay community. There are facilities, not so many, but they are. So this person might have gone into a public facility with anal warts. How do you tell a doctor that you had anal warts? So it's really, really challenging. So you don't get the service that you need. And that's just cases that run across the board. So you find that most gay people, because of the aspect that I've raised, previously, lead to them getting high cases of HIV because again, you can't get the health services that you need without being questioned about the lifestyle that you're living. Right?
Yeah.
So you don't have the services, you don't have the backing, you don't have housing, you don't have bargaining power, you don't have employment, you're just engaging in sex work, and sex work is very broad and diverse. People will use you how they want because they are paying you at the end of the day, right? So you find that the disparities... And you may have
agreed to one thing.
Exactly, and then Mokif Kapale, it's something else, right? So also your life is also put at risk because you can't go and report.
Yeah.
Right, so you can't go and report. Illegal. Exactly, it's also illegal. And it's also sex work. So you're gay and it's sex work, so those are two illegal things.
Yeah.
You can't crucify if you're at the same time, right? So the facilities that are actually existing, they are not so many in all counties of Kenya where you can say that anyone can walk into a facility and get services. It's really, really close to impossible. You either have to use like 2-3 buses, and that's just one way. So ukipiga hiyo hesabu ya kwenda hivyo hiyo pesa yote umetumia na bado hujarudi, hujakula, hujafanya nini, you're like, wacha mimi nitaseke wapi, nitaseke hapa. And the outreach programs, and by outreach I'm talking about where now instead of you going to the clinic comes to you. Not so many have the information about it. So also getting help and seeking the proper healthcare services becomes a challenge and becomes a problem. That's why it's so easy for gay people to test HIV positive than straight people, because for straight person just walks into a facility and like, you can get the services you need. But if it's someone who's queer in the queer community and you just dress and present in a certain way, you're already judged because of how you look and how you present. So even the services that will be offered to you are not going to be up to par. They're going to be now critical.
Yeah,
like exactly. They're like,
you look in it.
Exactly. You don't So you find that there's so many cases of HIV because of that. Right?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh my God, because I thought...
But then again, let's demystify, not all gay people are HIV positive.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
Yeah. Because personally I thought, especially when it comes to relationships, you'll find more like diseases and infections and all whatever in straight couples than in gay couples. Because, I don't know, that was my perception. Because I feel like... because even for poly, that's a conversation to be had. Like, despite anything else, it's you, who are you, and everyone is being open and honest in this case. So it's like, I got sad look. It's like, I got some.
Well, for us, it's really, really crazy. It's crazy for the queer community.
For real.
It really is.
I've done something. Oh my God. And that's why you are also Well, what do you say you do about the shelter homes? Because I have donated to a few shelter homes.
Yeah, I do run a safe house for homeless and Ruele Okeyo.
Mm-hmm. So maybe we can talk about it when it began. And
it did begin in 2020 when my life started looking up. I'm not Kenneth, neither am I Jacob. That's the name of the safe house. So when it comes down to it, I literally just strung along for the ride until I became the director of the safe house. So majorly what we do is we offer safety and protection, shelter and care, psychosocial support, that's also regard to mental health and also sexual health, and advocacy to the young folks between 18 to 24, because these are folks who've either finished high school or just joined campus. So Hawana so many things that they can be able to get for themselves, and their lives are a bit, shaky at this time. Mukana peer pressure will come out. Miss Jumuna Tonga peer pressure will come out to wapi. Like, coming out is the most painful thing you can ever do, especially if you can't take care of yourself. Coming out can be a bitch.
Funny thing is, I even talked about this with my girlfriends yesterday, and they were like, we were talking, because one of our friends is into the community, like Nini, and she was like, I don't think I can be able to tell my parents, because first of all, you already know African parents are African parents, and you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's unfortunate, but it's true, because unajua wazazi wako, so unaweza imagine. Kwanza wakati even like Brian Shira died, tukapo tukipewa msomo about the whole, so imagine you're part of that, you're like,
no, I think
I wouldn't, because of also the problem of say you can go to you have no job, you can't go to your family members, maybe, so it's just like, you know what, up until maybe I can be able to sustain myself when I feel like I really need them, I have the need to, we just ride along until...
Wait, it's not for my ex who did what he did, because it's my ex who did the honors of outing me.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was my ex. That's another long episode podcast on its own, right?
What the fuck?
My ex did that. But in my head, I did come out to a few of my other relatives.
Like your cousins?
No, actually my uncles and my aunts. They're not based in the country, they're outside. So I did come out to them. And for them, they were like, do you want us to talk to mom and dad about it? I'm like, hell no, I'm still in high school. I am still under their care. You're not living in this country, so if shit happens, you are not around to
help me.
The only way I'll be able to come out is when I'm sure my finances are right. I can be able to take care of myself, because I was mentally prepared that they will or might kick me out. So when that happens, I am prepared to take care of my own or myself. So my ex went and did that when I was not prepared, right? I had nothing to my name. I had nothing to...
Oh my God. So, I don't like your ex already.
But he's fine though, so, but at least it's fine. But hapa kidogo akili hakuna. So, but when it comes down to... I tell people, come out when you are able to take care of yourself.
Because you know the possibility. Yes. And there's no need to try.
Yes, there's no need to try. Like, just once you know you're paying your own bills, you're taking care of yourself, you're doing this and that, then you can come out. So that even when they decide to do away with you, it really sucks and it really hurts, but you're able to pay your own bills. It's not a point where you have to now depend on other people as well to start taking care of you. That's another burden you don't want to impose on people. So when I see 18-year-olds and to like 24-year-olds, I want to come out. Why do you want to come out? Because Ruele is out. You do not know why Ruele is out. If it were me, I would not be out, right, this particular way, right? Mine is a completely different situation. So you need to understand why you're coming out and why you need to come out.
Not just doing it because you want to do it. Yeah,
because you want to do it, right? Because you're seeing other people doing it and the peer pressure from social media.
Yeah.
Run your own race, man. Run your own race.
Because probably how only they just...
exactly. No, it's a lot of work coming out, and it's, you also have to think about where you're living. Are the people who are around you going to be accepting? Is the neighborhood
like
that you're living with? Yeah, because sometimes we come out online, right? And your neighbors might come and see it at some point. Are you sure your security is ensured? Right? Is your neighborhood everyone is into everyone's business, or everyone is minding their own business? When we keep on
there have been situations where the neighbors are like, kick this nigga out.
Exactly. Those situations have happened, right? Sometimes, personally, of course, I use my tattoos sometimes, but not all the time. I would rarely use my tattoos.
If you wouldn't, I'd rather not.
Yeah, because sometimes someone, my nose ring is like my signature, and guys recognize me because of my nose ring. Like, see who you in the Ruele Okeyo TikTok with. And then before you know it, it's a mob justice that's on my ass. So I tend to avoid. I have to think about my security when walking down the street, because would this person recognize me? Because I have been receiving so many death threats on my social media because of that. So I have my posting reduced for some time. I really reduced posting for some time because I started receiving serious death threats, both in the comment section, both offline. So I literally stopped. That's why I prefer if I'm not driving myself, I'm in a cab. My tattoos, I would use my tattoos, yes, but come and on a Sunday, there's not so many people, so I can easily use a mat. And like on busy days, I would avoid even just walking in town. So will someone think about that before they're talking about everyone to come out? People don't think about it. It's like, I just saw some cute couple on TikTok, and that's what I want. Where?
My friend, mention in there for you need a little bit of support if you can.
Exactly. So people need to understand that, and that's why I don't rush people to come. I'm like, no, you take your time, because it's not as easy as you people think. It's not as easy completely. I had to move from where I live to where I currently am, and where I currently am, it's like an hour 30. Just by using a mat, sometimes 2 hours, just to get to where I live. So that gives you a rough idea of ninaishi ushago mahali ndani where hakuna watu, sijulikani, nothing can happen to me. But I think when I choose to live inside, city, because I used to live in Kasa Kitambo, and Kasa, I would get stopped on the road. I would get stopped on the road by people. Sometimes having some mean comments, sometimes good comments. I'm like, nah, I just can't deal with it. Sitaki kama linaishi lakini niko shago ndani kabisa where no one literally knows me, and it's like the houses ziko scattered. Literally a home setting, not flats na nini, hakuna hiyo kabisa. So that's why I had to think about that when coming out. So people need to understand it's not as easy as people think.
Okay. I also had this question. By the time now you were getting kicked out, how were you able to survive? Did you go to a safe house?
No.
Did a friend take you in? What happened? I really hope you weren't sleeping in the streets.
Oh no. But I went to my ex, not the one who outed me, but another ex. I was like, I need to come and stay with you for like 3 days as I figure things out. So I went to his house. I stayed with him for 3 days, and then I left. I started hustling at that time. Like, this is someone who's never hustled his entire life, and then it was a struggle. Damn. And then after I left my ex,
just been thrown to the wolves.
Like, so it got to a point where I had started like making money, but only quit, right? So I was working 3 jobs at the time. Yes, I was working 3 jobs. I was working for a TV station, a church TV station. I was working for some international company and a local NGO. But so now when they got wind of this happening, because it became a really huge scandal, when they got, it was really, really huge, social media huge, so it blew up terribly, and they got wind of it, so I lost all 3 jobs at the same time. Like, he called Kisha Hingine Lingi, he called Kisha Hingine Lingi. I lost all of them. I lost home. I got kicked out of my mom's house. I got kicked out of my dad's house, all at the same time. All in like Zime Fortana to hit it back to back, right? So I went to my ex, stayed with him.
Fuck! Oh my god, I can't even imagine.
Started hustling. Went to live with like 2 other girls for a period of like, was it 3 months? Stayed with them for 3 months with the while I'm still hustling. Met someone, this person, I consider him like my an angel just sent. Because I met him in the club. We'd never talked. We met in the club. Back then I used to go to clubs. We met in a club. The first time he came, borrowed cigarettes, left. We didn't even say anything. He just asked for cigarettes and he compare kinda. Second day, the same thing happened. Third day, the same thing happened. Nani cigarettes and mimi sijavuta. Sijavuta hata sijafungua packet. And then it just like, yeah, sure, just take it and go. The fourth day we talked and I told him this and this is what's happening. He said, come and live in my house. And I stayed with the Mandims for 1 year. And he didn't even want anything from me. He didn't even want, you know how sometimes we're like, you need to exchange it for sex, you need to exchange it for anything.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. I don't even know you. You don't even know me. I just told you this. You don't even know if I'm lying. Exactly. You know, there has to be something that, you know, what's a catch.
Ulterior motive.
Yeah. He never asked for anything. It's just like, you just sort your shit out. And once you're comfortable, you can move out. And I stayed with him for 1 year.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
big shout out to him, man.
Stayed with him for 1 year. Then at this point,
in the 1 year you had got your things. So
Pole Ninio tried to get employment, tried to find side hustles. Man, it was a painful thing. Living off of someone else's mercy, it's a painful thing because you're like, in my head, what was my motivation was this man can wake up in the next morning, he says, you have to leave. Ninaenda wapi?
Yeah.
Right? So I would literally push myself to make sure that that never happened. And after 1 year, I managed to, you know, get some employment. I was paid some okay money, and then got my own place at this time. And then after that, things started just like falling into place, So that's how I managed the.
That's a good I wouldn't imagine. Yani isimu next simu unaenda kwenu unaambiwa toka na vitu zako.
It's kabisa. It just came back. I'm telling you, that's a whole podcast episode on its own. It's a full podcast. So many things happened, you know.
Do you feel like a lot of queer people experience?
They experience worse than what I did.
Yeah.
Some experience worse.
Because some end up in
they end up in the
sex
streets.
work.
Yes, I've also done sex work at some point in my life.
Oh, really?
Which, I mean...
Sex work is different, it depends.
Yeah, but I'm a person who... My values and sex work just don't meet. I advocate, I have nothing against sex work. I talk about like, your sex work is work, you do your work.
Yeah, you should have your
But
own, right?
for me personally, sex to me is not just about coming and that's it. To me, sex has to be intimate, and you know, it's that all that thing. So sex work steals that from you. So I feel
because it's very casual and transactional.
Exactly, it's casual and like there's no form of.
You don't do casual?
I don't.
Your relationship?
I'm a sucker for relationships.
Oh. But oh my god, because after he gives us stories, hey, cool much.
Yeah. So I think coming out is a painful process. For some have had it worse. Some have been physically abused, some have been verbally abused. For me, yes, I was kicked out of home, but mine was pretty chill. Right? My dad just told me, we had a brief conversation. I was like, you know what, it's okay if this is the path you want to choose, but because of our customs and traditions, you just can't stay here. You're my son, yes, but you just can't stay here because of our custom. Of course, we did fix those bridges 4 years later when we sat down and had conversation. Then I was like, you folks, because at this point now, when I got my own home, they came, and then now through my brother, which I was very pissed about, because why are you bringing these people in my house? So we had conversation. The first thing I asked them is, if I bring a boyfriend home, am I going to accept him? Let's just start there before we speak about anything. If I bring a boyfriend home, will you accept him? So if they said no, I disappear forever and they never hear from me again. If they say yes, move forward. And they said yes, and here we are.
Oh, big shout out, folks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it has been a work in progress.
And it had to be, it's this or that.
Yes, it gets to a point.
You can be okay with me being gay, but you don't wanna see it.
No, because
which doesn't make
I mean, I will rub it in your face and like, I'm bringing your boyfriend home, so. Just so you know.
I'd be love to.
So that's why, like, sometimes on social media, when sometimes we get this hate, I'm like, you know what, my folks love me.
Yeah, and they accept me, so fuck you.
Exactly. So that's what I do, what I do.
Oh boy. Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? I think that's it. That's what I really want to talk about. But then, imagine we're there, you're done who made me watch How to Get Away with Murder.
Annalise Kitty.
Yeah, because you put a poll about Harvey Specter or Annalise Kitty.
Nah,
And then-
Suits just doesn't have it for me.
For
I
real?
tried. I love Donna. I really love
Oh,
Donna.
okay.
But Annalise Keating.
Okay,
Annalise Keating
okay.
has it
So
for
I'm
me.
like, everyone is choosing Annalise. I'm like, I haven't watched How to Get Out. It was
Yeah.
that one series that's in my list, but
Yeah,
I never
never
got
watched
around
it.
to watching it. And then Polonaise, oh my god, what okay. And even that's How to Get Out of Matter really helped me
Yeah.
with the two gay guys who I dated was
Connor and Oliver.
Connor and Oliver.
Yeah.
So I saw like how that came about in their relationship and what that means, and I was like, I don't think I get it. I need to understand because okay, let's take a for example. I'm on
Yeah.
a date
Yeah.
with a new guy.
Uh-huh.
When do you think someone should say it if they're actually like if I'm positive, how long does it take them to
You
say
can
it
Google
to
me,
the
man.
other
I
person?
say
Okay.
immediately, but I would say if
For someone
say it
who
as
doesn't know.
early as possible, because before you even start getting attached and feelings start, say it before then. I know, like when you Mukenda, that first date, I love it like when you're saying it on that first date.
On the first date, you don't think that's
yes, because
too-
you're only coming to get to know each other, right? So either way, feelings as the janza ku attached to someone that heavily. So this person, if they choose to be with you, it's okay. They will learn and they will be with you and they will want to be with you. But if they don't, then
At least it can't
no
be
harm done.
shown.
Yeah, we didn't have sex. I was not attached, so it's easier to even move on.
Oh,
Yeah, but this now
okay.
has to stem from a point of you as a person who's living with HIV. You are so confident about yourself that if they leave because of your HIV status, it doesn't affect you. Let them leave because you're not their type or you didn't tick this boxes. But if this man or this woman will leave you because they say you're HIV positive and I can't be with you, it's okay. It's okay for you to leave.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make me feel like shit because I'm like, you know what? It's your loss. It's not mine. Because that's where most people go wrong. You really
Yeah,
want,
it feels some type of way.
yeah, you want love from other people yet you haven't given it to yourself. Mr. Zuki, never because of my HIV status. Where? Imagine
No loss for me.
No loss.
It's your loss.
Yeah, right? Because I'm like, yo, if
You
when
missed
do
out.
fumble? Yeah, you missed
You
out.
missed out.
Because of HIV, and it's not like I'm transmitting HIV, I'm like, I'm already undetectable. I'm taking my meds. If I'm telling you I'm HIV positive, it means I'm taking care of myself. So my health is okay.
But
So
I think I don't think people are very at that.
Now people want love from others. They haven't given it to themselves yet. That's
But also, I
maybe
feel
the
like
problem.
also from like like my friends, the ones who didn't know about PrEP and PEP and whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like when they go on a date and someone says that, it's on to them. It's gonna be a no because it's like, so how is this gonna work?
How is it? It is going to work.
But then you see, they don't have
You don't
that
have the information.
knowledge. Yeah.
The best thing I always say, if this is a beautiful person that you want to be with, you might not accept the HIV status immediately, but
Yeah,
you can
'cause
go and yes.
Cognitive bias.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Also, like tell people like sometimes someone yes they might, but they might be okay with other people, but because they've never interacted with it one-on-one, might be a shock to them. Let them take some time to also digest it. Maybe they can go and look for information if they are.
how can I be in a relationship?
Exactly.
with-
If I want to be with you, I will, I will do everything to be with you. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll go and if I don't understand about diabetes because my ex had diabetes, I type 2 diabetes. I had to go and research like what are the signs and symptoms, what is this and this, how
What
do
do
I
I
react,
do?
what do I do when this happens? Because I wanted to be with him. I'm like, it's diabetes, man. So I mean,
Okay.
and I want to be with this person. So I made sure like I went and did everything that needed to do. So if this person wants to be with you because of, they will go and understand what HIV is and how to live with it and how they can be with a partner with HIV and you move. Like nati mtu ati unataka ku step, what step? Imagine step.
Yeah, mimi niko sawa.
Mimi niko sawa, step.
Oh, niko so bien.
Tuko 8 billion kwa hii dunia. Tuko 8 billion.
Yeah,
What step?
I was okay before you. I'm gonna be after you.
Exactly.
I'm
So
gonna be fine.
I advise to always do it as early as possible
as early as
because
possible.
once you've had sex, the relation. Kuna mtu kwanza.
I'd say before you have sex. I don't think that's something you should say after.
Because
but I was thinking
like,
maybe how long before you have sex.
Maybe we'll say the first date.
Yeah.
The first date.
Have you ever got any bad reaction?
Oh yeah, not once. Not once.
Well, like,
yeah.
But is it just like I know I'm like?
No, actually.
What the fuck?
The thing was,
really...
one person even refused to even kiss me, and you can't transmit HIV through kisses. They completely refused. The second person even touching me was a problem. Like, bruh, step, maybe I can't. I just can't. Nah,
yeah.
Where you have your own issues. After
and your own belief
exactly,
system.
Your own belief system in Mekata. I have, and sometimes you can teach someone about HIV, you can educate someone rather, and they're still not okay with it. I'm like, Sawa, show me I've done my part. I tried. Don't say I never tried. I did try. I taught you about this, educated you, I told you this and this and this and this and this. Come on, Mekata, imagine Sawa step. Ain't nobody got time.
I know, that's right. That's right. Anyway, the last part of the show, we usually do music and movies, so maybe you can share a song that you've been listening to, jamming to.
A song. Let me see how the movie is. I have been binge watching The Maze Runner. I really love The Maze Runner series.
Okay.
The Maze Runner, I love The Hunger Games. Dystopia.
Yeah.
Kind of movie. Yeah, I really love those.
Okay.
Guy, song that's been in my head. Damn, this is Inanipotea.
Okay.
But yes, this song by Mudhaka, Aki Mudhaka, I'm so sorry. This song.
That song, just go search.
Let me check. Mudhaka Akwapi, my love.
Okay, the movies that I've been watching. I'm currently watching a documentary. I've been watching, but for the song I've been listening to Kendrick a lot. I think because I'm a cocky jam, so let me remind myself about the whatever. And so for the documentary, it was the greatest night in pop. You remember the song "We Are the World"?
Yeah, by my MJ.
It was done with like over 40 musicians, the pop stars of the time. And it's like, oh my god!
That's amazing.
Yeah, you should go watch it. So you should go watch The Greatest Night in Pop. Have you seen the song?
Yes, it's called Sunshine by Mudhaka.
Sunshine?
Yes, Sunshine.
Okay, are you like, what type of music genre do you listen to?
I listen to everything, majorly but mostly I do listen to alternative kind of music. Here we're talking about Lord, we're talking about Of Monsters and Men, that's a bit of soft rock. We're also talking about
the only soft rock I know is November Rain, Guns N' Roses, back in the 80s.
I don't know. For me, just alternative. It's like music that not so many people listen to. That's where, and also like movie soundtracks. I might be watching a series and I'm like, damn, what song is that? Shazam.
Oh, okay.
Because it really touches me. So also a little bit of soul music, a little bit of R&B. I'm
you
just
look like me, I'm a gangster. I like the music that makes me feel like I'm shooting my balls.
Yeah, oh Lord. I'm not into violence. Yeah, but also I love reading a lot also than watching movies.
Oh really?
Yeah,
what book are you reading now? Because I'm reading Surrounded by Idiots.
Ah, nice. I haven't read that yet. But I'm reading The Old Drift.
What type of books do you like?
I love African writers. Anything that has an African writer to excuse me, I will be there.
Oh,
because
okay. I really wanna. Have you read The Confessions of Nairobi Men? I really wanna read it. You've read it? It's nice. On a scale of 1 to 10.
10.
Okay, I'm gonna buy it. That's my next.
Because you've read Nairobi Women, right? Confessions of Nairobi Women.
No, I've only read The Sex Lives of African
women.
Yeah.
So when it comes, let me just ease it down for you with the Confessions.
I'm
not even, when you're reading Confessions of Nairobi Women, it's majorly stems from what men have done to women. When you read Confessions of Nairobi Men, it's majorly stems from how they were brought up. So how I would suggest to start with men, before you proceed to women.
Oh, sorry.
Because once you understand how men think, you understand what they do to women. It's not justifiable, but you will understand it better.
Oh, thank you for the tip. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna request the men one.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't even to read the women one because I'm like, I don't want to hear about women when they've been cheated on and whatever the fuck. But I wanted to know what are the men saying? What are their confessions?
It's crazy.
For real?
Crazy, yes. I am reading The Old Drift.
What type of book is it? What genre or whatever?
It's African literature. It follows 3 generations of women in the country of Senegal. Yeah, not Senegal, Zambia. It's really interesting. It starts off really shaky, but then again, I'm like, you don't want to put this book down. Yeah, so it's that kind of book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me for the book, it's surrounded by agents. I'm also reading the ebook because it's like a physical book format. It's like you're doing too much.
No, imagine, but do it. I also try it sometimes. They keep because everyone has something to say. Everyone has something. So I'm like, I'm gonna give you something to talk about.
So I usually I did like a physical book maybe when I'm at home, or I'm at work, whatever. And then I have an ebook when I'm traveling. So my ebook is The Arts of Seduction.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to finesse this thing. That's what I'm trying to do. Safely.
I think for me, when it came to, like self-help kind of books, kind of setting, because surrounded by idiots and, artists kind of like self-help, I let me not say I stopped reading it, but I reduced my reading of the books because those are just not our lives.
What do you mean?
They're not our lives because that's like white people thing,
Like what?
I was reading How to Influence Friends, How to Win Friends and Influence.
I want to read it. It's in my read list for this.
That's a beautiful book, but the setting is not in Kenya. Like, Kenyans will not behave like that. Kenyans will just not behave like that.
Give me an example.
An example is how to talk to people majorly, like when you have a problem. How will a Kenyan react? You're incompetent, you're this, you're that, just ways to put someone down. That book gives you a different approach where you're like, you can suggest opinions instead of backing orders, suggest opinions like maybe you should have done this and this way. Mkenya kuna tema kukusuggesti na kufanya nini ama yasha kudharau wewe na watu wenye wote. So when I read such books I'm like, yes, this is a beautiful setting.
A beautiful book.
A beautiful book.
Wrong setting.
Yes, amazing writing, something I can actually try. But now my Kenyan people,
Utapewa majibu hapo ushangae.
Another one is The Truth About Honesty. About why people are honest and why they lie. You look at it from a point of ukiangalia tu Kenyans will just lie. Look at our politicians, man. But anyway, we're not getting into that.
Woo!
But that just gives you an example of when you read that book and you look at our politicians, you're like, nah, imagine. Just look at our Nairobi boyfriends for starters. Very inconsistent, very linear. But then again, I'm like, you know what? This setup. So I reduced reading them because the setup is more of the Western kind of setup. But here, I would suggest we read African. Like, let's read our own, because our own.
Maybe you can give me suggestions, because I already have a read list for this, but I can switch some white shit from African. You can give me suggestions.
The book I suggest people to
text
buy.
You'll text me, but you can say it, but text me because I'll forget.
Book I suggest people to buy. You can get this via ebooks. I'm not sure if you can get it in locally because I got it in one of my travels. It's Endings and Beginnings by Ruele Okeyo. Is it synopsis? It's majorly this young girl forms a relationship, not a sexual relationship, but they have a relationship with the area rapist, murderer, and thug. So everyone else sees him as the rapist and murderer and the thug, but she sees him as the man no one ever got to see him as. So she tries to understand what led him to become the most feared thug, rapist, and murderer.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's a beautiful book that I suggest for everyone to read because it gives you a different perspective about people. And when you're looking about people from a perspective of your POV, Now it's time to look at it from their POV.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
from that lesson.
Yeah.
Okay. Just text me so that I
I sure will.
remember.
I sure
Okay,
will.
so maybe you can tell the people where to meet you, where to see all your content and all that you're doing.
My lord.
Yeah. What's your
Um,
Instagram? And maybe you can repeat the safe house name and
Yeah.
whatever.
My social media handles are Ruele Okeyo, majorly just that. RUELE, Ruele Okeyo. On all social media platforms. And the safe house is Kenneth and Jacob's house. So feel free to send a donation whenever you can.
Please send donations.
Doesn't have to be monetary, even if it's like tangible things like clothes, shoes, food. Yeah, we're doing that. And is there anything else? I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming. Oh my god! I am so happy. This is one episode I wanted to do for a very long time. And what oh my god, stealthing. Oh my god, it's doing what? Hiya!
Stealthing is a crime. It's a crime.
Say one word because I have one word. Yeah? Let a nigga not catch you trying to be slick over there.
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion said the nigga thought he had me till I came out with a condom. So practice safe.
Safe sex. Nilirisk. Nilisema 28
It's okay.
so serious. Yeah. I think my message over is just to practice safe sex. Might not look cool in this time and age, but it will save you from a lot.
Yeah. People say it doesn't look cool.
Yeah.
For real?
Kwanza siku hizi vile orgies ndo zimekuwa the in thing, orgies, foursomes, threesomes. Nobody gets time to put on a condom and an orgy.
Please, you are wearing it. There, you. Calm yourself. But thank you so much for coming. I'm super excited and happy. Oh my god, real.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love your energy. The vibes of it.
Asante sana.
Okay, you guys can tune in every Wednesday. Yeah, every Wednesday after 20. Yeah, and until next time, adios.
Bye. Ciao.
Hey Julie.